A question: if your phone buzzed right now and you saw the bank sent you a message, would you open it with peace of mind? Or would you pause for a moment? Because deep down, you know the number you're about to see probably isn't the one you want to see. Now, a harder question: what if your car broke down today? What if your landlord said you need to pay a new expense? What if your laptop died, or an unexpected medical bill appeared on your table? A lot of people think these questions are pessimistic. But the truth is, life doesn't have a calendar for crises. The problem isn't that something bad happens. The problem is that when it does happen, you have no safety margin to deal with it. And this is where most people make one big mistake. They think they first need to increase their income, then start saving. First, their debts must be gone. First, life must calm down. But there's one problem. That then never comes. Because life always has a new expense to throw at you. A bill, a repair, an incident, a problem. And every time, everything starts over from the beginning. I want to suggest a different idea. Maybe your first financial goal isn't buying a house or investing or even retiring. Maybe your first financial goal is this: that an ordinary incident shouldn't be able to mess up your life. I call it a financial shield. Not a multi-thousand-dollar account, not a huge fortune, just some money that stands between you and the crisis. Because when there's no shield, even a small expense turns into a chain of problems. First you use your credit card, then the installment comes. Then to pay that installment, you have to cut back somewhere else. You get more stressed, you make rushed decisions, and one simple expense turns into months of headache. But here's the interesting part. You don't need to be rich to break this cycle. You don't need to double your salary. You don't need a miracle. You just need a small but real goal. Our goal? Building your first financial shield in 60 days. And before you say, "I don't have anything left at the end of the month either," let me make an important point. This plan is not going to ask you to suffer more. It's not going to make you give up all your fun. It's not going to tell you to stop drinking coffee every day and stop enjoying life. Actually, quite the opposite. We're going to build a system that, without making you feel suffocated, gradually pulls you away from the edge of the cliff. Because the difference between people who survive financial crises, it's not always a higher income. A lot of the time, it's just that they thought a few steps ahead before the crisis hit. And the good news is, to start, you don't need to set aside thousands of dollars. You just need to decide that from today, not every unexpected event is going to control your whole life. Right now, our 60-day challenge begins. But now the real question is, what is this challenge actually trying to achieve? Most people think that building a real emergency fund means saving thousands of dollars. And honestly, if that's the standard, most people never even start. So we're going to set a different goal. The goal is to build your first emergency buffer in 60 days. Around $600. Why $600? Because it is not meant to solve all your financial problems. It is not meant to make you rich. It is not meant to replace months of income. It is only meant to do one thing: stop a normal everyday problem from turning into a full financial crisis. A flat tire, a small medical bill, a higher than expected utility bill, an unexpected repair. This money is not going to change your life overnight, but it will buy you time. And sometimes a few extra days is the difference between control and chaos. Now you might be thinking, I don't even have $10 a day. And if that thought just crossed your mind, you're not alone. In fact, most people think exactly the same thing. And this is where the biggest mistake happens. People assume we're about to ask them to suffer more, work more, cut out everything they enjoy, remove every small comfort from their life. But this system is not built on suffering. We are not trying to save $10 a day. We are trying to find $10 a day. And there's a big difference. Sometimes it comes from a small, unnecessary expense. Sometimes from a forgotten subscription. Sometimes from a better decision. Sometimes from a small extra income. Sometimes just from stopping a single impulsive purchase. And when all of that starts adding up, that $10 starts to appear almost on its own. Because what we're building here is not just an emergency fund, It's a system that slowly changes your financial behavior. And to make this system work, we need a simple roadmap. 6 stages, 6 missions, 60 days, and each stage focuses on just one thing. Because if you try to change everything at once, you usually change nothing at all. So are you ready? The challenge starts right here. And the first stage is not what most people expect. It's not about saving money at all. Stage 1. Build a wall between yourself and your money. And I know that sounds strange. Most people think the first step to building an emergency fund is saving money. It's not. The first step is making it harder to spend money. Here's why. Imagine I put a bowl of cookies on your desk. You tell yourself you're only going to eat one. 5 minutes later, half the bowl is gone. Was that a willpower problem? Not really. If the cookies weren't sitting there, you probably wouldn't have eaten them at all. Money works exactly the same way. If your emergency fund sits in the same account you use every day, your brain doesn't see it as emergency money. It sees spending money, dinner money, shopping money, weekend money, I've had a stressful day money. And before you realize it, your emergency fund has disappeared. Not because you're irresponsible, because your brain always chooses what's easy. That's why stage 1 has one mission: create distance. Today, I want you to open a separate savings account, a different bank account, a different digital wallet, anything that keeps this money away from your everyday spending. And give it a name, not savings, not account 2. Give it a name that makes you stop and think. Emergency shield, do not touch, future me, whatever works for you. Because names matter. Your brain treats labeled money differently. People spend vacation money differently than rent money. They spend birthday money differently than grocery money. The label changes the behavior. Now here's the second part, and this part is even more important. Set up an automatic transfer. Not next month, not when you remember, not when you feel motivated, today. And I don't care how small it is, $3, $5, $10, $20 a week. The amount doesn't matter, the habit matters. Because most people save whatever is left over at the end of the month. The problem is, there's almost never anything left over. Life spends your money before you do. So we're going to pay your future self first, automatically, without making a decision every single week. Because motivation is unreliable. Systems are reliable. And I want you to understand something. Stage 1 is not about making you richer. It's about proving something to yourself. That you can build a system even before you build a fortune. Because over the next 60 days, we're not relying on discipline. We're not relying on perfect budgeting. We're not relying on hope. We're building habits that work, even on bad days. Even when you're stressed, even when life gets messy. Complete this first mission. Open the account, give it a name, set up the automatic transfer. And don't worry if the number feels small, because something interesting happens. The first dollar changes how you think. The first $20 change how you behave. And the first $100 changes how safe you feel. Stage 1 isn't about saving money. It's about becoming the kind of person who always has a plan before the next emergency arrives. And now that we built the foundation, it's time for stage 2, finding your first $100. Stage 2, find your first $100. Something interesting happens at this point. Most people think the hardest part of saving money is saving money. It isn't. The hardest part is getting started, because until you see a result, your brain doesn't believe the plan will actually work. That's why the goal of stage 2 isn't to build a huge emergency fund. The goal is much simpler. Find your first $100. Why $100? Because it's proof. Proof that your situation can change. Proof that you can take control. Proof that this challenge is actually working. And here's the good news. We're not waiting for a raise. We're not waiting for a tax refund. We're not waiting for a miracle. We're going to find that money inside your current life. I call it finding hidden money, because almost everyone has hidden money, money that quietly disappears every month without them even noticing. Mission number 1, cancel one thing. Open your bank app, look through your subscriptions, streaming services, apps, memberships, free trials you forgot about. Find one thing you don't really use and cancel it. Maybe it's $10, maybe it's $20. The amount doesn't matter, the habit does. Mission number 2, the 48-hour rule. For the rest of this challenge, no unnecessary purchase happens immediately. Wait 48 hours. That's it. If you still want it after 2 days, you can buy it. But you'll notice something strange. Most impulse purchases disappear long before those 48 hours are over. Because the biggest enemy of saving money isn't expensive things. It's impulsive decisions. Mission number 3, sell one thing this weekend. Just one. An old pair of headphones, a gadget collecting dust, a jacket you never wear, a bicycle sitting in the garage. Anything you no longer use. Turn it into cash and move that money straight into your emergency fund. Now you might be thinking, that doesn't really count as saving. Actually, it does, because we're not here to protect our pride. We're here to build financial security. And financial security doesn't care where the first $100 came from. It only cares that it's there. Because something amazing happens when you check your account and see that first $100. The money matters, but something else matters even more. For the first time, you start believing that you're capable of changing your financial future. And that's exactly what we're trying to build. Stage 2 isn't really about finding $100. It's about proving to yourself that money doesn't have to disappear from your life. It can finally start working for you. And now, it's time for stage 3, stopping the hidden leaks that quietly steal your money every single month. Stage 3, stop the money leaks you don't even notice. Now here's where things get uncomfortable. Because up until now, you probably thought your problem was income, or debt, or timing. But in most cases, your real problem is something else. Money is quietly leaking out of your life every single month, and you don't even notice it. Because it doesn't feel like one big expense. It feels like small, harmless decisions. A coffee here, a delivery order there, a small treat yourself purchase. A subscription you forgot about, a quick online order you don't even remember placing. Individually, they feel meaningless, but together, they are the reason you always feel like you have nothing left. So stage 3 has one mission: find the leaks and plug them. Let's start simple. For the next 48 hours, I want you to look at your last 30 days of spending, not to judge yourself, not to feel guilty, just to observe. And you're going to label every expense into 3 categories. Category 1, necessary, rent, bills, food, transport, basic survival. Category 2, optional, things that improve your life, but you could reduce for 60 days. Category 3, emotional spending, the I deserve this, the I had a bad day, the it was just this once. And here's the important part. Your financial freedom is not built in category 1. It's built in category 2 and 3. Now let's get specific, because most people are shocked when they do this. They find things like $20 a week on takeout, $15 on random online shopping, $10 on subscriptions they forgot. Small purchases that feel invisible, but add up to hundreds over time. And that's the key. Not one big sacrifice, but dozens of small leaks. Now here's your first mission. Pick just one leak, not all of them, just one, and eliminate it for the next 60 days. No negotiations, no maybe later, just remove it. Because the goal here is not perfection. The goal is momentum. And something interesting happens when you do this. You don't just save money. You start seeing money differently. You stop asking, can I afford this? And you start asking, Is this worth taking from my future self? And that single shift changes everything. Because now you're no longer someone who just earns and spends. You're someone who controls the flow. And once you reach that point, the next step becomes obvious. Now we move to stage 4, where we don't just save money, we start multiplying it. Stage 4. Now we get to one of the biggest budget killers for a lot of people. Food. Not because people are irresponsible, but because most food decisions happen when you're tired, hungry, and don't feel like thinking. So this stage has one simple mission: make food easier for the next 60 days. Pick a few low-cost meals, keep a few basic ingredients at home, and try to know what your next meal is before you're hungry. Because a lot of unnecessary spending starts with an empty stomach. And one more rule: don't remove all the fun from your life. Give yourself one small treat every week. Just decide on it ahead of time, not in the moment. Because this challenge isn't about making life harder. It's about reducing emotional spending. And every dollar you don't waste adds another layer to your financial shield. Stage 5. So far, we've talked about spending less, but there's an important truth. You can only cut expenses for so long. Eventually, there's nothing left to cut. That's when you ask a different question. How can I earn a little more? Notice what I didn't say. I didn't say get a second full-time job. I didn't say start $1 million business. Just find one small way to bring in extra money. A few hours of overtime, a freelance project, selling things you no longer use, helping someone out over the weekend. Anything that's realistic and pays quickly. Because the goal of this stage isn't to get rich. The goal is to speed up your financial shield. If you can earn a few extra $100 over these 60 days, you might reach your goal weeks earlier. And more importantly, you'll prove to yourself that there's more than one way to make money. Stage 6. Building a financial shield comes with one challenge that nobody talks about: not spending it. Because sooner or later, you'll be tempted. A big sale, an impulse purchase, a stressful day, and you'll tell yourself, I'll just replace the money later. But if every small problem becomes an emergency, your emergency fund won't last very long. So here's one simple rule. Your financial shield is only for real emergencies. Things that threaten your health, your home, your ability to work, or your essential bills. Not a good deal, not a vacation, not a random shopping spree. And one more rule. If you ever use the money, your next financial goal is to refill it. Because the goal isn't to never touch your emergency fund. The goal is to always have one. And that's the entire 60-day challenge. If you've noticed, none of this was about getting rich. It wasn't about becoming a millionaire. It wasn't about doubling your income overnight. It was about doing one simple thing: putting a little distance between yourself and the next crisis. Maybe you'll end these 60 days with $600, maybe more, maybe less. But the most valuable thing you'll build isn't the money, it's confidence. The confidence that when life throws something unexpected at you, you don't have to panic. And that might be one of the best financial decisions you'll ever make. So start today, take the first step, and remember, the goal isn't to stop bad things from happening. The goal is to make sure one ordinary problem can't take over your entire life. And if you enjoyed this video and want more practical, no-nonsense money strategies, make sure to subscribe. Because financial peace isn't built with one big decision. It's built with small decisions made consistently. And today, you made the first one.